You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Greetings, listeners. I am Frankie Poo Poo, and I like sniffing the floor. My favourite thing to do is licking toes, smelling noses, and eating moon poo. Anyway, that is the end of the podcast. There is no more Comedy Club for Kids podcast for the rest of the life in the world on the sky. Oh. I guess there's no podcast this week then. Thanks, Eduardo in the US for that intro, I think. I mean, I was going to say, hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from... to... and everything in between. And then, I was going to tell you all that I'm Tiernan, as I always do, but I guess there's no podcast now, so, tricky, eh? Linda, there's no show this week, Linda, so you don't need to show up, Linda. Listeners, just in case she decided to finally come along today. Right, well, what should I do with all this spare time? I mean, I'd planned today to get the podcast done, but it's all finished, so I'm full of free time. It's quite exciting. I could do anything, couldn't I? I could shear the bees, so their fuzzy pelt gets shaved off and lets them be a bit cooler in the warmer weather. Or I could finally see how many cocktail sausages I can balance on top of each other. Or, I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? Like when you suddenly get a free day and you don't really know what to do with it. But maybe today is the day I start on my autobiography, the book that is all about my life. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. I'm sure everyone wants to read something like that. Let me think how to start. It was a cold, dark Wednesday in January when I arrived after being bored of not existing. It terrified all the people in the local supermarket when a baby me, popped out of nowhere on top of all the tins of soup on aisle 4. But what can I say? I knew from day one that I liked soup. Is this the right tone? It's very hard to get this sort of thing right, but if you don't start a book properly, no one is going to want to read the rest of it. I'm not sure I should start it like that. I know. What about, are you worried you might sneeze and your legs will fall off? Well, that's never happened to me, and I've been alive for at least some years. In this book, I'll tell you all the ways I've managed to sneeze without my legs falling off, and hopefully it will help you be less scared of hay fever too. No, I don't think that's very me, is it? How about... this might work. The intergalactic Waffles Warriors fired their mega cannons at the neon cyber dinosaurs, but it was too late. They had dispatched the Phonosaur 7000, whose gassy emissions could wipe out an army of waffles within one blow-off. Anyway, that has nothing to do with me, as I live on Earth, and my name is No, this is not right, is it? One thing I do know, though, listeners, is that if you have anything you want to send in, whether it's a question you need to have answered, or you just want to send in anything else at all, then please do get your nearest pilchard parps, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. And if those same grown-ups would like to support this show happening, they can do that with a small monthly payment at radiononsense.supercast.com, patreon.com/comedyclubforkids, or at Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, there is still a very, very small amount of time to enter the competition to win a copy of Mike Rampton's Become a Genius in a Year books. If you are listening to this on the day it comes out and you email me as soon as you can, a very, very silly made-up fact, then you can still be in the running to win. And I will let you know the winners of those books very, very soon. Right, I need to work out how to write my book. And while I do that, you listen to this most importantest bit. Hooray! It's Sunjai Arif, better known to many listeners as the last person in the world who can fluently speak the language of chair. Sunjai, it is so nice to have you on Radio Nonsense, finally. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm sitting on a chair currently, which is how they like to be communicated with.
Yes, I did. I noticed that, and I'm guessing you asked. Did you have to ask the chair first, or is it just generally accepted that you can sit in a chair without any worry?
I think they find it quite rude if you ask first, that's insinuating they don't expect to be sat on. They don't
Right.
know what they're doing. So you must sit down as quickly as possible. Uh, I think the harder you sit down, the better. You don't want any gentle butt to seat happening.
Right. So ideally in chair world, rather than just sitting gently, we should be climbing on something, launching ourselves into the chair, sort of bum first, and landing like
Yes,
that.
always. The softer the chair as well, the harder you should sit down.
Wow.
Uh, for sure.
I mean,
It confuses a lot of people because they would assume hard chair, sit down hard,
mm-mm.
but it's not. Soft chair, sit down hard. Hard chair, sit down moderately, never soft.
I mean, this is already blowing my mind. I was very excited to have you on the show anyway, but this is already blowing my mind. And I think for many of the listeners, we'll get to this obviously, but we have listeners of all possible ages. But you know, for many of the younger listeners, their grown-ups will have told them to just sit down or not leap off something onto a chair. They'll have been told off, and actually, they were the ones doing it properly all along.
As usual, yes, adults are wrong
Yeah, yeah.
most of the time, especially when it comes to chairs. I mean, that's why I've concentrated on this field because you'd think it would be simple, but people really do misunderstand chairs,
Yes.
and it needs to stop.
Sorry, can I just say you concentrate on a field? Is that where chairs grow?
Oh yes, chairs do generally grow in
Right,
fields,
right, right.
especially metal ones, which is another thing that confuses people. They think the wooden chairs are the ones likely to grow in a
Yes.
field, but you find those in the forest.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. That makes sense because yeah, the wooden chairs are in the forest, growing next to the trees. The metal chairs grow in the
Yes.
field. Soft kind of sofas. Where in the sea, or are they from space? How do
Uh,
they?
they just form into existence
Right. Right.
naturally.
Okay.
You consider a sofa and it will exist.
Mm. That's amazing because I haven't been to a field of chairs. Something that is on my list to do. I have been to one of those like what they called like a showroom, like a sofa showroom, and it's like you see lots of chairs in
Yes.
their natural, what I think is their natural habitat.
Well, a sofa showroom is more akin to a zoo, really.
Right.
And so you can go and experience or get a glimpse of what the sofas would be like, but they're not really in their natural environment. You do just want to go out into the wild, think about a sofa, and one will appear in its natural habitat.
Right. I mean, I should. It's probably quite a delicate subject, really, to talk about so early on. But then, is it like zoos in a good way? Like, are they protecting or conserving chairs that otherwise maybe wouldn't do so well in the wild, or are they?
I mean, it really depends on the sofa
Right.
showroom.
Okay. Okay.
You get good zoos and bad zoos. Some are
Mm.
better enrichment of the animals. Some of the showrooms are better enriching their sofas really, and they have a lot of people coming in and sitting on them
Yes.
and
Yeah.
trying them out, which is what the furniture really wants. So
Oh.
uh, something like a DFS would be quite good. Their sofa practices are quite well done.
Yes.
Um,
Right. Right.
an IKEA
Yes.
is nice. People are always sitting
They are,
on the
aren't they?
furniture
They're
in
always sitting
IKEA.
on there.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Even in the
their
sort of
attempts.
yeah in the bathrooms on the toilets and things. They sit everywhere in an IKEA.
Yeah, but we do really have a problem with other stores that sort of keep the furniture. They flat pack it
Right.
so that it's easier to transport.
Yes.
Also, I guess IKEA flat packs everything, don't they? So on the surface, it looks like they are doing a good thing, but really they're not. I really should look into their practices a bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Flat packing's a really horrible. I don't know if you ever read this book when you were young. But I had to read Flat Stanley at school. Did you ever read Flat
Yeah,
Stanley? Which
I I did not.
right.
Sounds
It
horrendous.
is what it is now, but like it's the story of a small boy and a cupboard falls on him and he becomes flat as a piece of paper, and you'd think already, well, there's someone should contact the furniture company. These cupboards aren't safe; they shouldn't be the same. But actually, he just gets on with his life and he does things like puts himself in an envelope and posts himself places, and actually has a lovely
Does
life
he
being flat.
a lovely life? Well, I think being flat as a human would be quite a benefit, but the furniture really doesn't like it. Chairs don't like to be flat.
Right. Okay. Okay. So they wouldn't want to post themselves in an envelope, and I think at the time he posted himself in an envelope and then met the Queen, which So obviously, I don't think sofas wouldn't be interested in that sort of thing.
Well, unfortunately, the royal family tend to sit too gently on chairs. They've got a lot of etiquette to
Right.
follow,
That says a lot.
and
Yeah.
that poor throne has had a lot of gentle bums sit down on it.
Wow. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
sad,
no,
isn't it?
no monarchy flopping themselves down, and it really is a shame.
This is why. So I mean, like talking to you, really. If any, I don't know if you can ever. I've never done a walk around any of the palaces. I think they'd tell me to go away. I think if any of I think if listeners are hearing this, they should, if they visit the palace and they see the throne, they should charge at it and launch themselves at it bum
Oh,
first from a
oh, of
distance for
course,
the sake of the throne. Yeah,
that would be wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Run at the throne and jump and sit down.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, make the chair happy, and then deal with the palace guards afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's from your throne.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it all sounds very sensible to me, and I think the only way forward, if we're going to have a meaningful relationship with furniture, I think as humans often we just take these items for granted. You know, we don't really worry about what they're thinking.
Oh yeah, and we should I'm constantly worrying about chairs,
Mm.
thinking about chairs. Please excuse me. Every so often, I might get up just to sit down again.
Nice.
Um,
That's right.
for,
Right.
for the chair's sake. Yeah. So don't worry if I suddenly stand, and then suddenly sit. I can see you've decided to stand and sit for your
Yes,
chair as
I
well. Very
did.
good. That's excellent
There you go.
practice.
I was.
Never sit still, as my parents always said. They were great chair
Well, it's
enthusiasts.
clearly. I mean, clearly, they must have been to raise someone like you. And I suppose my question, and I apologise if this is controversial, but do you care about other furniture? What are your thoughts on beds or I can't think of other furniture, tables, I guess.
Oh, of course, I consider all furniture, which is why it keeps appearing in my house.
Right, right.
But I've decided to concentrate on chairs. I think that's where I can do the most
That's
good.
nice.
Obviously, furniture is so complicated
Yeah,
that I can only concentrate on one small area at once, and there are other experts in other furniture languages,
that's
and I
good. Yeah.
defer to their expertise.
Mm, mm. That makes sense. I personally find not that I've ever really had an opportunity to own one, but a chaise longue confuses me because it's like, are you a bed? Are you a chair? Sort it out.
That really is out of my area of
Right. Sure.
expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse. I don't want to claim to know everything about the furniture world, and there are experts that have still not been able to define a chaise longue.
Weird.
Some say it should never it shouldn't exist. It's a freak of nature.
I think so. I'm just, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm glad they exist in the world, but they're not for me. I want to either sit or lie. I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. I don't need this much choice when it comes to sitting on a chair.
There's a song about how confusing chaise longues are, and I believe it has a lyric on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue all day, on the chaise longue.
Yes,
And
I've
I
heard
think
that. Yeah,
that sums it up perfectly.
it does. It really does. Yes, I mean, it's very poetic, and I can understand why they had to write that song. Um,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's very confusing. Wow. Well, I mean, listen, Sanjay, it's so nice having you on the show and having this kind of level of expertise. I for one know very little about chairs. I think I'm trying to think.
Oh, I'd love to talk chairs all day long, but I believe you brought me here for some very important
Yes, yes.
questions.
Well, that's exactly. I was just about to say we've got a very important question that I do need to ask you. I do have before that, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but we legally have to ask you two very important admin questions. How do you feel
Oh,
about
of
admin?
course.
Are you all right with admin?
I don't know what admin is.
That's probably the best way to deal with it. I think.
Yeah,
I
I believe it's a shortening of a bigger, more important word, is it?
Adminosaur. It might be adminosaur. It might be
It's a dinosaur
adminora.
based.
Yeah, it might be adminology. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would come after it.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
heard
Oh,
the
unless you
longer
know what?
version of
Unless
the
it's
word.
adminiture.
Oh, see, that's very confusing, isn't it? The word add miniature makes you think it's going to be something small, but then you've
Mm.
made the miniature word smaller. Is
Yeah,
admin just a term for confusion? Being confused?
that might be that might be badmin or madmin. Yeah,
Adminton?
adminton. Oh, adminton. Yes, you're
Might be
right.
admin.
Maybe it's a sport.
Yes.
The full, yeah, maybe it is a sport where people throw documents at each other across a court.
Yes. I think you each have a handful of documents that you roll up and you bat a mouse back and
Yeah,
forth. Not a living animal.
right.
One of those
Oh, a
little
computer, a computer mouse.
handheld devices to
I
control a computer. Yeah.
I automatically imagined a small mouse in a tie and glasses, obviously because it's to do with admin, and I just thought
Yeah.
he or she would be having the worst time that they could have.
Well, obviously, in the olden days, they
Mm,
used a real
mm.
mouse,
Yes, yes,
but with sort of animal protection laws and
yes,
activists, they had to change to a computerized mouse.
yes, yes. Which actually, do you know what? I was being really old fashioned there. I was worried that if you hit a computerized mouse with rackets, then the little lead would get caught in the rackets. But of course, now they don't even have leads because we're
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
future.
don't need a lead on it at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Little infrared, that's how you track it. The light, little red light flying back and forth
yes.
across what I can't remember what they play on a pitch. Is it court? They play in a court.
Yes, no, no, no. It's fully understandable. I was just going to say I think adminton rather than being played on a court, you'd probably have it in an open plan office on those sort of desks that have the little, I don't know, the little sort
Partition,
of yes
the
partition. That's the word.
cubicle.
I was thinking of like castle walls. I was
Yeah,
thinking like a sort of defense, but you're right. It's a partition. Yeah, yeah.
you
So you'd
bat
have
it
to.
from cubicle to cubicle.
That's nice. That sounds fun. It sounds more fun than being in an office.
Oh yeah, don't listen to adults saying that work is boring. I think it's meant to be incredibly fun. You're just throwing stuff around all day, and they
Yeah,
pay
it
you
sounds
for it.
great. But
As
then of
far as I
course,
understand, I've never worked.
no, I've got no idea. I've got no idea. I was going to say the issue because if you're standing up and hitting a mouse around, you're not sitting in your chair, your
Mm.
office chair, and then you're upsetting the chairs. So that's a tricky
Yes, I
balance.
spend most of my time sitting, so I can't partake in badminton, which is why I forgot what it was.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Well, listen, don't worry about this, Adminton. It is important, but I don't want you to be sort of wary of it. I've got two questions. Just take your time with them. The first one is very important. As I mentioned, we do have listeners of all possible ages you can imagine: Ice Age, Bronze Age, 4002, 4 years old, whatever, all the ages. Not 100. Long story, but I just need to check if there are any rude words you won't be saying on this show, so that we can keep it completely family friendly.
Oh, I guess not particularly a word, but I do have an issue with. I'd like to not reference animal burps in any
Right.
way, if possible. I don't mind human burps because, of course, the thing that makes a burp acceptable is saying "excuse me" afterwards,
Right.
and
Sure.
blaming it
Sure.
on your food. And because animals can't talk, they can never apologize for burping, and I find it incredibly rude.
Wow. That's all. I didn't realize that. I mean, that's not. Do animals try and apologize? Do they try and do it in an animal way, or do you think they just don't care and they're just naturally quite
I
rude?
guess I've never concentrated on animal language, and I think
Mm.
possibly my ignorance is what makes it rude. But if we could not mention animal burps at all, that would.
Yeah, and that's. I just need to check. Not any animals, so like giraffe burps. We don't want to say. We wouldn't be saying
Oh,
frog
definitely
burps.
not. The time it takes from it to leave the
Yeah,
stomach,
it's kind of.
travel up the neck, and come out is excruciating.
I've never. It's a very good point. I've never. Giraffe burps must be. I'm trying to think what they sound like. Is it like one of those sort of rain tubes
Oh,
that
you
you
can
get?
hear it for so long. Yeah, it's like turning a rain tube upside down,
Yes.
and then it escaping at the end. And the thing is,
Wow.
you hear it coming for so long that you expect there to be a huge belch at the end, but
Yeah.
it's always a very disappointing, and
Oh, that's
it really
terrible.
sickens me to my stomach, which is not as far away as a giraffe's is.
Yes, yes. But I'd be appalled by that. Actually, that's. I'd want them to make more effort. It's like I agree. Look, I'm with you on this, and I think we shouldn't be saying animal burps of any particular type. But I would at least be impressed if the burps sounded kind of how you'd imagine they'd be to the animal. I could imagine elephants have a big trumpety burp.
Oh, you'd think so, but again, they always send it down their trunk, and the amount of time it takes, it just comes out like like an exhale of air. It's incredibly disappointing. And I'm anxious about it the whole time. You see it, like you see the trunk like billow up. You see this big traveling bunch of gas, and you expect that is going to make a huge noise at the end, and it just.
That's really. I mean, that's. Is there a single creature that burps? I mean, other than humans, obviously we're experts. We can burp the alphabet and stuff, so clearly we're very sophisticated. But are there any creatures whose burps, surely you might find offensive, but you at least respect?
Some birds I'm okay with, especially parrots, because they can say you can teach them to say sorry after a burp.
Nice.
And they can say, "Oh, please excuse me. It was not me. It was my food. Just came up to say hello, and now it's gone back down below." And if a parrot is taught how to say that, then I can accept it.
Right. That's that makes that is the best way you can apologise for a bird. That is hands down the best way. Yeah, I agree.
But something like a starling or a robin just needs to get out of my face, really.
I mean, I hope that it's rude. If there's a robin in your face,
they shouldn't be burping in front of you, really. They can fly up high and burp up in the clouds.
That's true, actually.
You'd be none the wiser.
And if they did it when thunder was happening, you wouldn't have a clue. Yeah,
cover it up completely.
Yeah. Do chairs burp?
They do, and they actually, one of the languages. Every time you're sitting on a chair and it creaks, that is the chair's
got it.
burp. But obviously, I can understand their apology, being a chair language expert.
Sure.
So it doesn't offend me. I could understand how it may offend others.
Yes. I should have checked this earlier. Actually, I don't know if I got your official title right. Are you a chairperson? Is that what you'd consider yourself?
A chairperson. Yes, and that is quite confusing.
Right.
The chairs refer to me as a chairperson. Because I can commune with them. But if I say to a human that I am a chairperson, then they keep trying to get me to lead their meetings, and I'm not a fan.
It's very tricky, especially when their meetings are just full of badminton. And
a lot of badminton to do, yes.
Badminton, yes. Gosh, I call it badminton then, like an awful mistake.
Oh, badminton was the bad thing, yeah.
The bad version, yes. Well, listen, Sunjay, I will not say animal burps. I'm very pleased you won't say animal burps. Thank you very much for not mentioning animal burps on the show.
Very kind of you.
I'll be honest, I won't even have an animal guest while we talk in case it burps.
Excellent. They wouldn't be able to speak to you.
Well, no, exactly. It'd be a waste of an appearance, to be honest.
We do have an animal guest with us, and they've been silent the whole time. We actually have a giant bee here.
Yes, but which
hasn't
is
made a sound
for a bee, because they normally are always buzzing about and making a lot of noise, and yours is incredibly quiet.
Incredibly quiet. I like to refer to it as an E. It doesn't, but it doesn't like that.
Yes, but is that why it's quiet? Is it quiet out of spite?
It's sulking. Yes,
I
just told it off for burping. So.
I do, yeah. I like that you have a pet bee, and not enough people do. I always think they look so furry.
Oh, it's not my pet.
Oh, it's not your pet.
Sorry, it's my housemate.
Right, got it. Okay, so they've left the hive. They've moved into a flat share.
Yes. They keep trying to bring more bees in the house and start up a hive here, but they don't pay rent. So
that's terrible.
I don't like that.
Really terrible. No, not
like
good. But you get a lot of free pollen.
I can't do much with the pollen.
Right, sure.
They're not quite good at making honey on their own. I think that's why they keep saying they need friends round.
I see, yeah.
So it's kind of a difficult choice whether I would like honey and have to deal with the constant buzzing noise of thousands and thousands of bees in my home.
Yeah, that's going to be annoying. I think it's going to be annoying, isn't it? Or is it
It is.
calming?
Oh, yes. That's why they're being so quiet now because I have said no buzzing
Right,
uh,
sure,
in,
sure. Yes.
in
You've
working
got to lay
hours.
down these rules. No buzzing. Clean the bathroom at least once a week. You've got to
Yeah.
lay down, food in the fridge with my name on it is mine. And there's all that. And it's basic stuff. Basic stuff. Well, look, listen, thank you for answering that question. I've got one more Adminton question for you.
Oh, yes.
For you and your Silent B friend. Not friend, roommate. I'm sorry, there's a big
Roommate, yes.
difference.
Well, I
Um,
guess I wouldn't say we're not friends,
sure.
but
But yeah,
definitely, they're definitely not my
it
pet.
doesn't look happy. It doesn't look like it wants to talk to you. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying what I see. Well, listen, Sanjay. Here you go. This question's tricky. I think. Take your time with it if you need to. Would you rather that green peas kept falling out of your ears, or everything you did had an audience laughter track behind it, like they do on TV shows?
Well, living with an audience laughter track already following me
Oh,
around everywhere. Yes, yeah, everywhere I go, people are laughing at me. I
mm,
assume it's a
mm.
laughter track. They just keep shipping in people, and how sort of disturbing it is, especially when you're trying to get to sleep. I think I'd prefer to have peas falling out of my ears.
Right,
A
right.
handy snack whenever I
Very
need.
handy snack. I
Yeah.
think it would leave a trail. If, you wouldn't ever worry about being lost because you could look back and see where all the peas were.
Oh yes, and of course animals hate peas. They don't like eating
Mm,
their
mm.
vegetables. So there's no danger of my trail of peas being eaten and me not being
Yes.
able to find my way back. Um,
Yeah.
which is the
Yeah.
real problem with Hansel and Gretel. I mean, using breadcrumbs. Animals love bread.
Absolutely love bread. So does everyone. Everyone loves
Yeah,
bread. So I mean, really, it's going to get eaten. Yeah, you're right. It's going to get eaten by a lot of people. You leave peas, children are definitely not going to eat them.
they should have
Animals
used
won't
their
eat
ear
them.
peas definitely.
Ear peas. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's the only thing I can think is that I just worry it become a bit uncomfortable. I suppose maybe you'd get used to it if it's just endless peas falling out your ears.
Are they? But I never knew this was going to be an uncomfortable thing. The peas.
I don't know. It's never.
Are
I've never
are
had
they
it
too
happen
big
to
for the
me.
ear canal? Is
Yeah, I
each one
don't.
like you have to squeeze each one out?
Maybe very possibly. Yeah, maybe they're sort of brain peas that come
You
out
have to
from your
like
ears.
tip your head to the side and bang on the other side of your head so the pea
Mm,
comes out.
yeah, that might be.
Well, that sounds
That might
horrendous. I
be.
don't want that at all.
I mean, I'm just guessing because there's not really any detail in this important Edmonton question.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of supposing that we're assuming that they're just sort of falling out without you noticing much, but it could
that
be a
was my
real
assumption.
effort.
But
Yeah.
is there maybe they're like marrow fat peas? They're really big.
Oh yeah, they're really
And if
big. They
you
could be really big peas. Yeah,
and if you
that's funny.
don't if you don't regularly like knock them out, then they're gonna end up being mushy peas
Mm,
in your and then you have mushy peas dribbling out.
this is horrible. Really horrible. Yeah.
This has turned into a real horror. Well, of course I'll keep the laughter track
Yes.
as opposed to
Yes.
having a horror leaking green juice out of my ears.
It makes sense, but then I feel like laughter, as you said, sleeping would be tricky. I feel there'd be moments it would be great when you do something that you think was funny and you get a big laugh and possibly a little guitar noise.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you fall over and hurt yourself, and they laugh at you.
yeah.
That's
It is quite difficult. You never feel like anyone's being sympathetic to you
mm,
when you have a
mm,
constant laughter track.
yes,
I've had
yes,
I have put it on mute right now, but that only lasts for an hour or so, and then you can't
right,
mute it
yeah,
again for 24 hours. So you really have to use them
yeah, very
sparingly.
wisely. Yes, that's very hard, but better than mushy peas in your ears, I suppose.
Oh
So
gosh, yeah. Imagine every time you slept with the earpiece and you'd wake up surrounded by peas. I was
awful.
imagining that as, oh, what a lovely morning snack. But if you've been rolling around in the night as well and it's all mushy and
I mean, and we're also, what if they were entire pea pods? I
oh,
think that the
goodness.
possibilities are endless, and I think that's you have to take in all these things into consideration when you're thinking this through. So
That is my main problem is I don't
mm,
think.
mm. It's useful, nicely calming though to not
I have
think.
heard of people who do think and it seems to work out well for them, but I've never tried it.
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's It's very noisy. It's very
I'll take your
busy.
advice.
Yeah, it's just I wouldn't think about it. Well, listen, thank you for dealing with that question while not thinking about it. This is the important one, though. This is the one that we've had sent in that I think you, Sunjay, are the person that can answer this. And I hope you don't have to think about this because it's a very important question. This is from, well, let me read. It says, "Hi, my name is Benjamin." That's a good start. "And I am 10 farting blue flamingos old." I don't know if you know the farting blue
Good
flamingos
age.
age range. Yes, but that is it's a particularly good age. And Benjamin says, "My questions are," and I'm going to read this as it's written because it's all in capitals. So it's, "Why is green?" So that's how
Ah,
it says it.
yes.
"Why is green?" And "What is your favourite song?"
Oh, well, obviously, why is green is
Mm.
because it's not yellow or blue,
Mm. Mm.
but it is
Yes.
yellow and blue, which is
Oh,
a bit confusing. So I prefer to
yeah.
think why is green is it is the absence of purple.
Right, I see. I see. So why is green? Because it's the absence of purple.
Yes.
Yes, and I should clarify for the listeners, it's why, as in like why the question. It's not the letter Y is green, which is a different question.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I did
Yes.
assume the first one.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
You
I
were
didn't
correct. You were
clarify.
correct. No, no,
Uh,
just making sure. I didn't want you
the
to.
letter
So they,
Y is green.
because as we all know, every single letter of the alphabet has its different own designated color, and that's due to a very long. That's a long index they did thousands of years ago, based on
Yes.
its angles. But the why is green? That's a very different question. And
Well,
you do also
it's a
make,
statement.
yeah.
The statement really.
Mm,
Y is green.
mm,
B is yellow.
mm.
I assume I don't know all the colors. Actually, I've never studied um, all the colors or the letters or what letters are which color.
Right. There's a lot. I mean, there is a lot of them. It'll take a while.
Yes,
Um,
a
and I
lot of
think you know,
colors and letters, and you're putting them together.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a real. It's a lifetime of work. I think probably if not two lifetimes, to figure it all out.
A lot more
Um,
complicated than chair language, for sure.
really complicated. I mean, because also the thing with colours, well, with letters, there's big ones and little ones, and then different ones from different languages. But then there's also colours. There's like light ones and dark ones,
Well, oh yeah,
and tones and
yeah.
shades. And then you're suddenly like, well, I've missed my lunch.
And you get patterns of different colors as well.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
there's multiple colors next to each other to form
yes.
a pattern. You don't
It's a
want to
lot.
be worrying with that. You don't want to be dealing
No,
in your day to
no,
day.
no. I mean, I will say just to why is green because the absence of purple. That is why I'd say anything that doesn't have purple in it is definitely green. That's
Oh
right, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Everything that's not purple is green. Is that right?
I'm sure it is.
I'm not an expert in this,
Yeah, unless it's got secret purple.
but it's what my parents taught me.
Yeah, yeah. That makes. I mean, it makes sense. That's why green is green, and everything else is purple.
Yeah, everything else is purple. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they learn in school. I'm surprised actually at 10 farting blue flamingos old, Benjamin hasn't been taught that at school.
Yeah, yeah, that is a real oversight of the education state of
Yes,
education at the moment.
it's really
Not
bad
teaching the
actually.
colours properly. Obviously, that's fine for me. My school was worse when I was younger, but I
Yeah,
expect
yeah.
children now to know
Well,
everything is purple unless it's green.
I mean, my school wasn't great. It didn't teach me. It didn't teach me chair language or anything actually useful. But it did. It did teach us that we learnt that song about the rainbow that went green and purple and green and purple,
Mm,
purple and green and purple.
a lovely
I can
tune.
see a rainbow, see a rainbow, see a rainbow too. Like, yeah, which is, and that was like, well, now I know all the colours.
Yeah, very easy to remember as well.
It's
Uh,
very easy to
just a
remember.
few times.
Yes, yeah, it's a beautiful track actually. Yeah, which, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm almost sorry that I had to ask you such an easy question.
That's fine. I think the real meat of this question is what my favourite song is. Uh,
Yes,
He's,
yes, which is
he
I
seems
think
to
that's
have
hard.
Benjamin seems to have cheekily asked two questions.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
know what the rules are on this. Whether you're meant to ask one question or you ask a slew of them.
It's it. It's meant to be, I think, a single question. However, Benjamin has snuck in a second question, and I suppose were I to read it very quickly, it's like one question
Yes.
that's a bit confusing.
Well, I suppose did it have two question marks in it?
It does have two question marks, so technically two questions,
He,
but it has
he
but the
scuppered himself.
and in between the questions is starts with a little a, so it's like it's the same sentence.
Ah, I see. Well, I can
Yeah.
accept that from someone who is 10 farting flamingos old. That is a
Yes.
particularly cheeky age. You have
Yes.
to allow children a little bit of freedom to
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
disobey
Yeah.
the rules. Of course, it's the exception to the
Yes.
rule that proves the rule. So we must have some rule breaking.
Yes.
I don't fully
Yes.
understand it, but it's not
No, I
like
get
that.
very confused by exceptions to rules, but that is a rule. There's an exception to every rule is a rule, but then there must be an exception to that rule. And I
Yes,
think
but
I'm
there is never
already too
actually an
tired.
exception.
Yeah,
There's never actually an exception which proves the rule.
yeah.
So then there is an exception, but there wasn't actually.
I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing that makes me cry. And
There's people
yeah,
are still discussing this now.
yes, that's their
I
job.
thought they
Yeah,
have their whole lives, and it's very important work. I wish them all the
very,
best in their studies.
very, very important. Which I mean brings me to the very important bit. What is your favourite song?
Oh well, my favorite song is actually "Green Green Grass." Although I do like the original version of "The Absence of Purple Grass,"
Yes, yes.
but they settled on "Green Green Grass," and that is my favorite song. So
That's
it was
lovely.
quite a coincidence that question was about green actually.
Well, I mean, there is only two songs about colours. The other one, of course, is Purple Rain.
Yes, yeah.
And if you don't like Purple Rain, then it makes sense that you like
Then you
Green
like
Green
Green
Grass.
Green Grass, yeah.
Yeah, and I do like Purple Rain, but I would agree with you. I think Green Green Grass is a superior song.
I enjoy Purple Rain, but it makes me upset that I have never seen Purple Rain,
Mm.
but I have seen Green Grass. I can associate with. I haven't seen Green Grass, but I have seen Green Grass. I look
Yes,
forward to the day that I will see Green Grass, but I feel like the day I see Purple Rain will never come.
yes, that is true. And I mean, I think. Do you know the grass is always greener on the other side? So what you need to do is, if you're where you are, the grass isn't green. You have to go to the other side, and
And
then it's
then look
greener,
over,
and then look over. Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it will be
and
greener
then it'll be
over
green.
there. And
Green.
so then you have to
Yes,
go over there
yes,
to actually see it properly, and then and then you look back, and it will be uh,
yes,
greener that. So then you have to go back there,
yes,
and someone will shout to you, "This is the exception to the rule," and
yes.
then you get
That's
distracted
it.
talking about that.
It will take a lot. I mean, it will be your whole day, and at the same time, you will never see Purple Rain, which means rain is obviously green because it's not purple.
Yes, I have seen a raspberry beret,
Have
but
you?
not the color, the fruit.
Oh, right. Oh, I see. I see. Yes, I bet that's lovely to wear in the summer.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
it gets a bit
yeah.
sticky.
Bit sticky. You get attacked by wasps, but generally,
Yes,
I'd have thought it's
yes.
very fancy. Very fancy. Well, listen, Sanjay. I mean, thank you for such wisdom. I hope Benjamin is happy with those answers. I would be if I was him. I'm not him, so I can't speak for him, but I hope he is.
I would be if I was 10 parting flamingos old.
Yes,
That would
yes,
be the
that's
perfect question.
you're
But if I
right.
was
You're
11
absolutely right.
burping elephants old, I would be probably disappointed that we haven't discussed exceptions to rules more.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a podcast for them. That this isn't for them. This is for 10 farting blue flamingos old people. So
Yes.
and yeah, thank you, Sunjay. Thank you for this. This has been some invaluable wisdom today. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you having the time in between all your chair research. I just wondered what you've got coming up in the next 5 to 6 minutes.
In the next 5 to 6 minutes, I was going to stand up and sit down, probably 5 to 6 times. I think that works out at around once a minute, but I'm not a mathematician, so
Sure.
I'll leave that. I'll leave that to them.
Wow.
And then after that, well, the world is my oyster. So never fully understood
No, I
what it
don't.
means.
No,
Salty?
yeah, a bit salty, a bit slimy.
Yeah,
And I guess if you, I mean, I don't eat oysters, but if you do, I guess you can eat everything.
think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
play the
Yeah,
crunchy shell.
yeah, except that, or if there's a pearl in it.
I'll consider that.
Yes, yes. Well, good luck. Good luck eating everything. Good luck with sitting up and down, standing up and down, sitting up and down.
It depends which you do
Yes,
first.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, listen.
I'm sitting now, so
Yes,
it would be sitting up and down.
yes, correct. Yes. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with sitting whichever way you wish to sit.
Thank you, and remember to sit up and down in your own chairs. Um, don't if anyone asks you to sit still, remember to say no. My chair needs me to slam my butt down on it.
This invaluable advice. Thank you so much, Sunjay. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for being on the show, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely to discuss the subjects we have discussed.
Thanks so much to Sunjai Arif for having time in between talking to Ches to answer Benjamin's very important question. Benjamin, I do really hope you liked your answer, but if not, write any complaints you have in a colour that's not green or purple, and then it won't exist, and I'll never have to see it. If any of you have a question that you need to have answered, or you want to send in anything else at all, like a last-minute entry to win a copy of Become a Genius in a Year, then please ask your nearest pilchard parps, I mean grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. And do also check out our website, comedyclubforkids.co.uk, so you can find out where all our live shows are too. Oh, and check this out, listeners. I think I've finally worked out how to write my book. Like many of you, I started life as a baby. Unless you are a strange reverse person who starts life as a really old folk and then gets younger until you finally turn into a baby aged 100, at which point you're not allowed to listen to my podcast that doesn't actually exist anymore. When I was a baby, I have no idea what my life was like because I was a baby, and babies are ridiculous, and they just poop themselves and cry a lot. That's why instead, reader, I'm going to tell you about things I can remember, like stuff that went on last week. Last week I ate some baked beans, about 8 of them to be precise. I saw a dog that was wearing a very fancy hat. I didn't hurt my knee, not even once, and I waved at a lamppost. Oh, what now? I'm in the middle of finally writing my book. Hello? The podcast isn't cancelled, and it's been running this whole time. It was just a silly intro. Well, I better get back to it straight away then. Begone, ancient typewriter. Now, back to the podcast, but I know exactly where to start this one. That's right, at the end. Bye! You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents. Radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense. It's the end.